I'm gonna come clean with you guys, yeah? I have face tattoos. I know. It happens, right? No, it doesn't. Anyway, I wanted to make this video about what my life is like having face tattoos. I'm gonna be fully honest with you. I'm gonna come clean with all the good and all the bad. By the way, this isn't some sort of propaganda for you to go out and get a face tattoo. Let's start out with a quick overview of my life with face tattoos. Life is actually quite normal, believe it or not. Thankfully, we live in a modern society where it's acceptable to have tattoos as a whole. My existence, however, really tested that acceptance on a whole nother level. I'm like, oh, you guys are cool with tattoos now. What if I put one on my face? I actually go about my daily life without getting any shocked faces. Nobody's calling the cops. The old lady is not hiding her purse with or without tattoos. I'm robbing you, old lady. You watch your shit. However, I do get treated differently, and that contains both the good and the bad, depending on how you look at it. Everything depends on how you look at it. I'm quite a philosopher, me. Philosopher? I hardly know her. Some people obviously judge the book by the cover. This is my cover. They be judging this book, dog. And initially, they think I'm either one of three things. A hobo, especially if my dreads are all nappy and shit. It doesn't help, bro. It really doesn't help. B, they think I'm some sort of thug. The music note on my face looks like a teardrop. People think I murdered somebody and I went to prison or something. Or C, they think I'm some sort of loser who has the lifestyle where he can get a face tattoo and doesn't give a shit about it. All of those are fairly warranted. I'm not mad at any of those, to be honest, and I don't mind. You know why? Because it really doesn't matter to me. If I'm any of those or all of those, as long as I know I'm a good person, I'm completely fine with your judgment. At the end of the day, as long as I'm a good human being, a good boyfriend, a good neighbor, a good stranger, I don't give a shit what you think, brother. In summary, most people will prejudge. In times of my life when I'm single, it might intimidate some women. I'll go a bit more into that in a minute. As a whole, my life, yeah, I've been being treated the same without a face tattoo. I noticed no difference. All right, let's start off with the good. The honest truth, the good part about having a face tattoo, it's a fantastic automated self-defense mechanism. And what I mean by that is, since people prejudge the book by the cover, they think because he has a face tattoo, it probably means he's some sort of f***ed up individual. I'm not saying I'm some sort of scary person in public. I can be if I want to be, but having a face tattoo makes it a lot easier. I travel a lot. I'm in new environments, new situations, all the time. Trust me, I am the last guy anybody tries to fuck with. And bro, I'm not trying to brag on anybody here. I'm just saying this is my observation over years of having face tattoos and noticing the contrast between having face tattoos and not having face tattoos. Especially from my nightlife experience where most negative encounters and situations tend to happen. You will likely not fuck with the guy with face tattoos who's minding his business in a corner, enjoying his Negroni. Am I right or wrong? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. That's just from my observation. What I'm trying to say is I can actually use this to my advantage in situations where I need to. Like I said, it's a self-defense mechanism. It's not like I'm walking around intimidating people because I have face tattoos. Make way, I have face tattoos. Let's move on to career and employment. This is the part that most mature people tend to ask about when they meet me for the first time. They would always be like, man, your face tattoo is cool and all, but if I ever had one like that, I would never get a job. And that's understandable. However, that's probably because you suck as an individual. What do you mean you can't get a job because you have a face tattoo? Your number one beneficial, hireable trait is that you don't have a face tattoo? Bruh. I'm just saying, from experience, it doesn't matter. But also, let's just be clear, it does matter depending on what kind of career you're pursuing. If you want to go into banking, bro, you're not getting a job with a face tattoo. Plain and simple. But at the same time, someone who wants to go into banking wouldn't even consider getting a face tattoo anyway. Or maybe I'm prejudging you nerd. You're a nerd, bro. Get a tattoo. Me personally, the last time I was employed was in nightlife. Honestly, that never really stopped my networking capabilities. I work in speakeasies. I work in like full-on commercial nightclubs. I work in underground bars. It never stopped, nothing. Maybe because it was dark, I don't know. If anything, it made me stand out. And I honestly fully believe I could make it in a corporate environment if I chose to be in that. I acknowledge it would be 10 times harder for me to work my way up that corporate ladder, but I'm making it anyway, bro. Face tattoos or no face tattoos, I have nothing to worry about. I got skills, bruh. Because at the end of the day, write this down, yeah? It's how you carry yourself. It starts with how you present yourself. In my case, I already f***ed that up from the get-go by showing up with a face tattoo. But you can salvage your reputation or impression or whatever by carrying yourself properly. Wow. Magical stuff right here. I know everyone says, oh yeah, well, first impressions matter, bro. She's all about the first impression, lasting impression. Shut up, dude. Anybody who says that is just regurgitating shit they read online. Apply things in real life and learn from it, please. First impressions, they matter if it's somebody you're meeting for the first 5 seconds. In most realistic everyday interactions, how you carry yourself consistently over X amount of time will be the lasting judgment. Whether or not they had a bad impression of you the first time, or they think you're a great guy the first time. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, you smiled nice and you treat them nice for the first 5 seconds or whatever, and you went by the book for a lasting impression. But what if you carried yourself like a dick? The other way around, you can say, I'm just talking shit right now, but I'm telling you, people's first impressions of me aren't always that great. I have a weird sense of humor. A lot of the time, vulgar jokes and dark jokes. The face tattoo doesn't help. I don't really like most people when I first meet them because I'm quite antisocial. So right off the bat, you would hate me. Then you get to know me, and I'm like, I still don't like you. Sure, buddy. You got something to say, bro? Absolutely rude. I don't like you either. In summary, having a face tattoo never affected my career path. I operate a few businesses, never affected me. I'm cool with partners and clients. We're good, bro. We're good. It's just y'all that's judging. However, it likely burned some bridges in terms of my possibilities for what I would want to consider in the future. I mean, like, I'm not becoming a politician or a hedge fund manager having face tattoos, even if I wanted to. I think it's more than just face tattoos that's stopping me from getting that. Anyway, let's talk about dating women. Am I right? Ladies, let me ask you something and let me know in the comments. Would you date a man with a face tattoo? Oh no? Well, that's why you get paid less, bro. Sorry, dude. That was a joke. Anyway, yeah, let's be honest. Having a face tattoo limits the dating pool quite a bit, or enhances it depending on how you look at it. Everything depends on how you look at it. Philosophy. That's how life works. Yeah, let's be real. The average woman does not want to bring home a man with a face tattoo to their parents. Mom, I met a nice guy. He has face tattoos, but he's colored. Ladies, listen, my face tattoos are the last thing you should worry about before bringing me home to your parents. I'm a public masturbator. Anyway, back to the dating thing. Yeah, most women tend to stray away from face tattoos. And again, that's understandable. This goes back to the whole prejudgment thing. It's how we survive. Also, you have to give women credit. Women don't really look at things at face value. Well, some women do. Let's be fair. Many women, not all, tend to predetermine how they would look with a man when they walk into a room or they show up with their parents, they go to a gathering. In photos. Ladies, am I right or wrong? When you see a man that you like, don't you try to imagine or fantasize a bit about what you would look like together? I think both men and women do this, right? You see a man with a face tattoo and people are looking at him strangely. If you're seen with him walking into a room together hand in hand, that strangeness rubs off onto you. Those strange looks rubs off onto you. He looks weird or he looks jarring. What is she doing with him? Am I right or wrong? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, it's the same deal if you're short, you're fat, or you're ugly. Basically, if you have any kind of physical disadvantages. Sorry, bro. So yeah, if you're short, just date shorter. Date midgets. You know, you're called little people now. By the way, this is not exclusive to women. Both genders do this. If I see a girl that I like, I'm gonna imagine what we look like in a room to... Oh, whoa. All men just look at a woman and be like, yeah, I'd walk into a room with her. Now, I don't mean to brag here, but I've dated a fairly wide range of women. Some of them wide as well. Some are mature women with corporate jobs, corporate 9-to-5 jobs, you know, and others are party girls who've been partying every 5 nights a week. So I'm not limited to a certain type of women, if that's what you're wondering. All my girlfriends or my ex-girlfriends don't have some sort of fetish for face tattoos or something. Again, it's how you carry yourself. However, I am less likely to attract more mature women. Not saying it's not possible. I need to put in some work in terms of how I carry myself and my appearance. Common face tattoo questions I get asked all the time. People are always curious when they meet me the first time, and you know, they get a bit chatty, they have a few beers, they're like, yo man, I want to ask you some questions, bro. The first one I get, did it hurt? Actually, this is one of the most painless tattoos I've ever had in my body. I'm not sure if because the artist was so skilled or maybe I'm that cracked in my mind, but the pain level for this tattoo was 2 out of 10. The next question I get is, do you regret it? Not really. I don't even think about it anymore. I barely notice it when I look at myself in the mirror. Sometimes someone would bring it up in person and I'd be like confused for a millisecond. Then I'm like, oh, they're talking, I have a face tattoo. Right. That's what they're talking about. But no, I don't regret it. Would I do it again if I were to go back in time? No. Well, you think I'm f***ing stupid? The next question I get is, what does it mean? It means cursed in Elder Futhark. It's the same curse that Balder has on his back in a different little creative font. Obviously, there's a deeper meaning to it, of course, and it means a lot to me, hence why it's on my face. But yes, it means cursed. It doesn't mean I'm actually cursed or something, like some sort of Blair Witch shit going on. Next question I get is, do you have a problem getting a job? I've never had any issues getting employed. We don't live in the 1920s anymore where you need to wear a suit to show up to work at a desk. Thankfully, society has progressed a bit. Listen, I have enough skills for like a 5-man team. I can confidently say that. And my resume is sexy. Trust me, no employer will ever be like, he's valuable and he can clearly contribute to this company, but he has face tattoos, bro. And the other question I get often is, what did your parents say? This is a good one, actually. My mom, she was not happy, dude. I would be pissed if my child ever came home with a face tattoo. Are you kidding me? I don't care how old they are. They're getting their ass whooped. My mom was quite disappointed. However, I think she's gotten over it by now, right? Mom, are you watching? Let's talk about the future. I think the most common reason people avoid face tattoos or tattoos as a whole is because they always think about, what am I gonna do with these tattoos when I'm older? First of all, I think that's a very stupid question. That's a dumb question, dude. When you get old, having face tattoos is the last thing you would ever fucking worry about. Dude, when your boners aren't hard enough and your back hurts the first thing when you wake up in the morning, you're gonna be like, well, at least I don't have any face tattoos. In some way, I try to understand the concern. Having face tattoos or tattoos in general as an older person, an old wrinkly, it might look jarring. In my opinion, I think it looks cool, in my tattooed opinion. But honestly, when I'm older, I would definitely care less. Oh my God, I have ink on my skin as an old person. Why do you have to adjust your personality and your lifestyle because you're older now? That's why people get, anyway, I don't want to go into it. That was my life, having face tattoos. In general, it never really changed anything about my lifestyle. Obviously, I have the lifestyle where I can have a face tattoo and it wouldn't affect me. It doesn't stop you from pursuing entrepreneurship. As a matter of fact, face tattoos might help you stand out a bit. However, don't go about getting face tattoos because you want to stand out a bit. What are you, 6'9"? I would never advise anybody to get face tattoos, no matter how cool it looks. But if you really want a face tattoo, think about it for a bit. Consider the impact it will have on your life. And can you regulate that impact, whether it's a negative or positive? I mean, if you're going to become a rapper or something, I guess, but wait till your career flourishes a bit before you get a face tattoo. I know it's ironic coming from somebody who got a face tattoo when they were in their 20s. But yeah, fortunately for myself, I carry myself well. I know I've mentioned that many times already, that I carry myself well. You better write that down. Neil carries himself well. Yeah, unfortunately for me, I have the personality, the skill set, and the charisma to be able to pursue whatever I want while having face tattoos, and it doesn't affect my success rate. However, this isn't for everybody. Now, if you have a lifestyle where you depend on several factors to become successful, it's gonna affect you, bro. So don't get a face tattoo. Just live vicariously through other people who have face tattoos like myself, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I haven't been very active on the channel recently, and I'm very sorry about that. If you have any questions about having face tattoos that I haven't mentioned in the video, leave a comment, bro. It'd be nice. It'd be nice of you.